tips.
We're there. But I wear up on the chart.
Alright, this one is alright. Conspiracy theory. SpongeBob number 3.
Alright, hold on, man.
Squidward.
Hold on, man.
Squidward's dark secrets.
Hold on, man. So like a SpongeBob, you know we have to do it. Are you ready, kids? Aye, Captain!
Oh. So I'm not in it with you today, sir. I'm not in it with you today, sir. We're here to talk about Mr. Squidward,
We
sir.
know, but
We don't care about SpongeBob right now.
Aye, Captain! Are you ready, kids?
Alright. So, dark secret, Squidward. What could this be? Alright, let's go. Yeah, entertainment. Dupree.
Yep, boy. They're not gonna dark secrets.
So we all know Squidward J Tentacles, famous for his big nose, array of artistic abilities, and overall negative attitude.
And what could be better than serving up smiles?
Being dead.
In the show, he works with and lives next to the main character of the show, SpongeBob SquarePants.
So they must sell bubbles 25 cents.
Between these two
That's not the biggest scam. What? The other this year they sell bubbles 25 cents. So they alright. Then where you don't need the bubbles?
Exactly. What for you? That's like I'm saying I'm selling you ear. How me I go purchase a ear for you? See it here. Just breed already, so just you just a pay for now. Like you make us say what the fuck?
Well, I know. But when you say you're not saying no. So then all the way goes so.
I'm thinking further than this, sir. I'm thinking he's talking a pop-up girl, sir. The one that named Bubbles. That's what he's selling. That's the only thing that makes sense. He's selling a pop-up girl by the name of Bubbles.
Okay, alright.
SquarePants, and the relationship between these two characters is very interesting. There are small moments throughout the show where they seem to genuinely get along. However, for the majority of the series, they do not like each other.
Shut your half-wit pie holes!
Well, let me correct myself. SpongeBob does see Squidward as a friend, but Squidward is constantly being annoyed by SpongeBob's antics. Seeing how annoyed Squidward gets at SpongeBob, you may be wondering, why doesn't Squidward quit his job, sell his house, and move as far away as he can from SpongeBob? Well, in simple terms, he can't.
Wait.
Because SpongeBob's family is actually paying Squidward to look after SpongeBob. It's time to grab some pop...
What?
What? Alright, so he just said that Patrick's parents is paying him to look after SpongeBob? No, it could not be what I just heard, sir. I have to think it's something else he's saying. What? That don't make that, sir. That I cannot see how that is going to make any sense. So might as well we just finish the reaction right now. That not gonna make no sense, sir. Oh, Mr. Rooster. I this is not no lyricism thing, but Mr. Rooster is needed for this because if it doesn't make sense to me, he will have to tell me himself how it makes sense to him. What?
popcorn and strap yourselves in, because this theory is going to be a wild ride. So the main question you may be wondering is, why would Squidward need to look after SpongeBob? Well, for many years, people have speculated that SpongeBob may have a form of autism, and was for a long time living under the care of his family. That is, until his parents thought it would be a good idea for SpongeBob to live on his own, so he could be more independent. They bought him a brand new house and hired Squidward, the next door neighbor at the time, to watch over SpongeBob and make sure he's doing okay. And yeah, this sounds like a cool theory, but where's the proof?
Exactly.
Well, let's start with the most important part of this theory, the idea that SpongeBob has autism. When you begin to examine SpongeBob's behavior, it does seem plausible that SpongeBob may have autism. This is a list of autistic traits that people claim SpongeBob exhibits. But before we continue, I just want to acknowledge that this list doesn't represent all autistic people, as autism is a wide spectrum, and people
Yeah.
with autism express themselves.
Okay, yeah, for real. I like that disclaimer. So basically, he only lists the ones that you could predict with SpongeBob why they say he has that. So based on how SpongeBob behaves, they could pick about 5 or 6 or whatever that's matched with autism and say, yeah, this is the reason why we believe he is.
Okay.
So alright, I like this disclaimer. Bring it back a bit again. Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge that this list doesn't represent all autistic people,
Yeah.
as autism is a wide spectrum, and people with autism express themselves in various ways.
Yeah.
That being said, let's investigate the claim that SpongeBob is autistic. One of the most obvious traits that SpongeBob displays is his inability to read social cues. Throughout the show, SpongeBob isn't really good at recognizing people's emotions. He doesn't understand that he annoys Squidward, nor does he realize when Squidward gets angry at him.
True.
SpongeBob also struggles to control his emotions, which is another trait of autism. He often becomes upset about very small things, and can become overly frightened by small things too. SpongeBob also seems to take things very literally, not understanding metaphorical language. For example, in the episode Squid on Strike, Squidward tells SpongeBob that he wants to
Dismantle oppression, board by board.
which SpongeBob takes literally, as he begins to destroy the Krusty Krab. Many autistic people also have a special interest, which is basically an area of their life that they feel extremely passionate for.
So there's levels to this. Son.
Yeah man,
That's fry cooking, a job which many people would hate to do, but SpongeBob seems overly fixated on, even
Yeah.
becoming upset when he's unable to flip those juicy patties. So, as you can see by this list, SpongeBob exhibits various traits of autism.
Yeah, yeah.
However, if you're still not convinced that SpongeBob may be autistic, the voice of SpongeBob himself, Tom Kenny, says that SpongeBob is in fact a little bit autistic. So, now that we've established that SpongeBob is autistic, we need to figure out why Squidward was chosen to look after SpongeBob, and why he even agreed to it. Because, I mean, he obviously hates being around SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long story. A really long story. So long, in fact, that it begins in prehistoric times. In the episode, we see primitive versions of SpongeBob, Squidward, and
Yeah,
Patrick
yeah, I
getting up
remember
to
this
nautical
episode.
nonsense. This mostly focuses around them discovering fire. The episode is really important, as it shows that SpongeBob and Squidward's family have known each other for a very long time. But this isn't the only time we see SpongeBob and Squidward's family interact throughout time. In the episode Dungeons and Dragons, we see their families interacting in medieval times, and in the episode Pest of the West, we see their families interacting once again back in the Wild Wild West. So it's safe to assume that with such a long history, the two families would be extremely close, meaning Squidward most definitely knows SpongeBob's family, and might even feel an obligation to help them look after SpongeBob. But now you may be wondering, why don't we see Squidward interact with SpongeBob's family in the show if he's helping them? Well, we actually do, but it's not as obvious as you think. In the episode SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, we see Squidward and SpongeBob's parents attend a party for SpongeBob, so we definitely know they've interacted. In the episode Grandma's Kisses,
I'm not gonna say yes they interacted, because they could have came, all the friends are there, all the friends must interact with the parents. But I understand he's trying to get the ties in. You understand? He's doing okay so far, but still not convincing enough so far. But just wait and see. I understand they try to tie. Okay, alright, cool.
it is revealed that Squidward even knows the location of SpongeBob's grandma's house, as he listens in on their conversation. But the best proof doesn't come from the TV show, but a comic strip titled Great Grandma, released by Nickelodeon. In the comic, SpongeBob invites Squidward to visit his grandma's house, when Squidward replies that he will come if she doesn't play any of her corny music. How does Squidward know what type of music SpongeBob's grandma plays?
Well, it's not a must that he had been in contact with her either at any time. SpongeBob probably could have told him that his mother, his grandmother, maybe SpongeBob was playing some form of music, and he probably asked him where he learned it from, and he said he learned it from his grandmother, and he was better than his grandmother at it, and it was awful. Yeah. I'm trying to find an alternative, but we can say, okay, it's still not a must, but you have to find ways to tie it in. So I understand why he's saying.
He hasn't visited her before. Later in the comic, Squidward ends up visiting SpongeBob's grandma, and even states that he wants to visit her again without SpongeBob, because they both share the same interests and get along very well. So there is solid evidence that Squidward and SpongeBob's family have definitely interacted in some way or another. However, there doesn't seem to be enough evidence to prove that they have talked specifically about looking after SpongeBob.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying so far, because even SpongeBob would have probably convinced him to say, come still, you will not hear her play, I will make her not play for you. But then maybe she play now and it's like, wow. Because remember him playing instrument, you know. Yeah. This is the most beautiful music I've ever heard. So because of that now, SpongeBob would have lied, according to my theory. SpongeBob would have lied. And because of that now, they have that common interest, so now he would want to go visit her without SpongeBob, because they could play beautiful music together. So let's still listen and see where the concrete part come in, like, yes, this is it, and we have no denial. Let's go.
But the lack of evidence may be evidence itself. So if it's true that SpongeBob's parents hired Squidward to look after SpongeBob, they wouldn't want SpongeBob knowing, because the whole point of it is to make SpongeBob feel independent. And since the show is based on SpongeBob's perspective, it would make sense that we don't see much evidence of this happening in the show, as it's trying to be hidden from SpongeBob.
Alright, so this must be, let me take a sip. This must be the concrete evidence part now, the contract. Alright, SpongeBob, alright.
So the SB.
This must be it. Alright, let's go.
So now that we've established that Squidward and SpongeBob's parents are working together, we now have to figure out why...
No, sir. You still have not convinced us that they are working together, but we are still looking.
Squidward even agrees to look after SpongeBob. I mean, if he hates SpongeBob so much, why doesn't he quit his job, sell his house, and move as far away as he can from SpongeBob? We've seen Squidward's house get demolished many times throughout the show. However, he continues to rebuild his house in the same spot every time, next to SpongeBob. Wouldn't it be much cheaper and better for Squidward's mental health to rebuild his house somewhere else?
True.
Yes,
True.
we've established that
True.
he's been hired by SpongeBob's parents to look after SpongeBob, but seeing the pain Squidward suffers being around SpongeBob, why does he even agree to it? It's clear that something is keeping Squidward near SpongeBob, and by something, I mean money.
No!
In the show, it is revealed that SpongeBob's parents are actually quite rich. For example, in the episode No Free Ride, we see SpongeBob's parents give SpongeBob a brand new boatmobile as a gift. So if SpongeBob's parents have a lot of money, it's not impossible that they are paying Squidward to look after SpongeBob. Both Squidward and SpongeBob work at the Krusty Krab, and as we see throughout the show, Mr. Krabs is extremely greedy and likes to pay his employees the bare minimum.
I don't pay you to breathe. You hardly pay us at all.
Receiving barely any money from Mr. Krabs, you may be wondering how SpongeBob and Squidward can even afford to live. They both have nice houses, lots of furniture, and endless amounts of food. It would make sense that SpongeBob's parents are giving them both money to support themselves. This would also explain why Squidward does the bare minimum at work, because most of his money comes from looking after SpongeBob, who works with him, not doing...
Alright. Not gonna say it totally convinced me, but that it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they are not paid well.
No.
They have to live. Because what expenses would they have? Because you have to think now, like, it's real life. What expenses would they have?
Buy food on a regular basis.
Yes, buy food and whatever it is. So maybe if you're even working the minimum, you still can take time save up to reach, whatever you take time buy what you're buying. But I'm trying to
yeah, for them parents are paying, yeah, well that doesn't make sense.
I see why he's saying what he's saying, but it's still no grasp me enough to say, yes, yes, sir, that's it for real. Let's go still.
His actual job. But now you may be thinking, why doesn't Mr. Krabs fire Squidward then for being too lazy? Well, I think Mr. Krabs knows about the agreement between Squidward and SpongeBob's parent.
So when the two of them work at the same place, you cannot watch him from a closer level.
Yo, I like that theory. But I'm going to counter that as well. He's lazy, yes, at times. But what you are paying him, you are willing to pay him that. Because if you're going to get somebody else that is more conscious and, you know, they are going to demand more.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm thinking, he's slacking up, but what I'm paying him, I can work with the slacking up. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. But I understand he's trying to tie all these things together. It is interesting. This is fun. But I'll tell a lie. This is fun. Tying all of this together, sir. How did you actually sit down and
But you want to hold up the 8th episode and then I put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I mean, like for real. I mean, to really sit, sir. How? You know this man here is terrorizing you. Your neighbor. Imagine SpongeBob was living close to you, sir. You could always go move somewhere else and find a different job somewhere else across the country.
Hold on. So you know what make it worse? You and him work together the same.
Yeah.
And you and him live
Side
by
side.
So him and I you date.
So I can understand why he would say this. There must be something. Something must be there for him to steal. So I can understand that. I'm not 100% convinced with the evidence, but I could understand why he's saying what he's saying.
Okay.
There must be something for you. Wow.
And is afraid to fire Squidward because then SpongeBob, the Krusty Krab's best employee, will have to leave with him. I also think Mr. Krabs knows that SpongeBob is autistic and therefore keeps SpongeBob employed so he can get tax benefits for having a disabled employee. So
That's a bar for that as well. That's a bar for that. Yeah, true. That makes sense though. Why you keep him? He's his best employee. He's artist, so he can pay him less than regular people. Because of a disability, you get a tax break for that.
you have it. That's my theory on why I think SpongeBob is autistic and Squidward was hired by SpongeBob's parents to look after SpongeBob. Let me know if you believe this theory in the comments. And while you're there, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. And if you want to watch another one of my conspiracy videos, click this video. Thanks for watching all you cool.
Alright, so we say as much as what we need to say already. I'm not 100% convinced, right? I am somewhere like maybe 80%, which is that is way past mark because of how he presented it. It makes sense why Squidward would actually steal. What else could be there for Squidward to steal if he's not getting paid or something? That could not be the best place in the world to steal. Yeah, I like that theory. I like it. The evidence is not spot on, but yeah, I see. We see over here. Alright, we're on to the next one. 8 bars.
Oh.